You've probably felt it, right? That little spark of magic when you give an AI a prompt and it comes back with something, well, incredible. But it's not actually magic. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain, look at the real gears and levers, and figure out how these large language models, or LLMs, really truly work. So check this out. I asked an AI for a quick poem about morning coffee, and this is what it gave me. A dark, warm dawn in a porcelain cup, chasing shadows, lifting spirits up. I mean, come on. It has rhythm, it's got imagery. It feels so human, doesn't it? It just gets the vibe of that first cup of coffee. This is exactly the kind of everyday magic we're talking about.
And that's the big question, isn't it? How does a piece of software, just code, create something that feels so genuinely creative? Well, here's the thing. It's not sorcery. It's actually a really elegant process, and we're about to unpack it together step by step. All right, so the very first secret to understanding AI is that it just doesn't see language the way we do. For an AI, our words, our sentences, they all get broken down into a kind of special code. And the first piece of that code, it's something called a token.
So what on earth is a token? Honestly, the best way to think about them is like Lego bricks but for language. The AI takes everything you write, every word, all the punctuation, and smashes it down into these smaller, much more manageable pieces. They're the fundamental building blocks it uses to understand us and to build its own sentences back. Okay, let's make this real. Look at this example here. If you type in LLM fundamentals, you might think the AI sees 3 words, but nope. It actually sees 5 different tokens: LL, M, fund, ament, and owls. Or look at it's fascinating. The word its gets split in 2. And get this, even the exclamation point gets its own separate token. This is the very first thing that happens when the AI reads what you've written.
And that right there is the first huge takeaway. Before anything else can happen, your beautiful, well-crafted prompt gets converted into this stream of tokens. It's a totally different way of processing language, and it's the foundation for literally everything that happens next.
Okay, so the AI has its building blocks, all these tokens. But, a pile of Lego bricks isn't a house, right? You need a builder. So what's the builder here? What actually makes sense of all these pieces? For that, we've got to step into the engine room and meet the transformer.
And this analogy is just perfect. If tokens are the bricks, the transformer is the master builder. It's this brilliant piece of architecture that takes that whole jumble of token bricks and figures out how to build something meaningful with them. This is the core technology that powers the big names you know, like ChatGPT and Gemini.
So what is a transformer really? Well, at its heart, it's a type of neural network that was designed for one incredible purpose: to understand context. It does this by looking at every single token in your prompt and calculating how important it is to every other token. It's not just reading left to right like we do. Nope, it absorbs the entire meaning all at once to get the full picture.
Let's break its job down into 3 really simple steps. First, it just gulps down your entire prompt, all the tokens, all at the same time. Second, and this is the amazing part, it runs a massive calculation to figure out all the relationships between those tokens. Which ones are most connected, which ones influence others, and finally, based on that deep, deep understanding of the context, it makes a prediction. What is the single most statistically probable token that should come next? Then it just does that again and again and again, building a response one single token at a time.
And this is the key insight. The AI isn't thinking like you and me. It's an unbelievably sophisticated prediction machine. By understanding the complete context of everything you've given it, it makes a highly educated guess about the single best token to add to the sentence. That's it. That's how it builds sentences that flow and actually make sense.
But that just leads to another question, doesn't it? If it's all just about predicting the next token, how does it know what to predict? How does it know that the token for sky is way more likely to be followed by blue than, say, purple or polka dotted? Well, that's where its education comes in. And the AI's school is, and I'm not kidding, the single largest library in human history. We're talking a massive chunk of the internet, millions of books, scientific articles, endless lines of code. This is where it learns all the patterns, the grammar, the facts, and even the really subtle shades of meaning in human language.
This education basically happens in 3 main stages. First is data collection. They just hoover up a mind-boggling amount of text and code. Second is pre-training. This is where the model is just let loose on all that data to find the patterns on its own. What words go together?
how grammar works, what facts are commonly stated. Finally, there's fine-tuning. This is where humans step in and act like tutors, giving the AI feedback, rewarding good answers, and correcting bad ones to make it safer and more helpful for us to use. This brings us to one of the most critical rules in all of AI: garbage in, garbage out. The quality of its education is absolutely everything. When an AI is trained on high-quality, edited, factual data, you tend to get really reliable and nuanced results. But when its training data includes all the junk from the messy parts of the internet, the biases, the factual errors, the misinformation, guess what? All of that gets baked right into its brain.
You really have to let this sink in. The AI is a mirror. It is simply reflecting the data it was fed. Its incredible knowledge and its frustrating flaws, they both come from the exact same place: its training data. It doesn't actually know what's true. It only knows what's statistically likely based on the giant library it read. So, tokens, transformers, and training. Why should you care about any of this? Because knowing how the car's engine works helps you drive it way, way better. This knowledge isn't just for fun. It actually gives you the power to get dramatically better results from any AI you use.
Let's connect the dots. Knowing about tokens, that should encourage you to be more precise and clear with your language. Knowing how powerful the transformer is at understanding context, that should remind you to give it all the relevant background information right in your prompt. And knowing how it's trained, that empowers you to question its answers, to be aware of its biases and its blind spots.
Seriously, think of these as your new prompt engineering superpowers. You've officially leveled up. You're not just a casual user anymore. You're an informed operator. You now have the insight to be more precise, to provide richer context, and most importantly, to apply some critical thinking to every single thing it generates for you.
So maybe the magic is gone now, but what you're left with is something so much more powerful: real understanding. You now have the core recipe for how these amazing models actually work. So the real question isn't how the AI does it anymore. The question is, now that you know the recipe, what are you going to create with it?